Good evening, and welcome to another edition of the New Black Leadership Coalition. The New Black Leadership Coalition coming to you live here on CAN Television this evening on this beautiful evening. A little chilly, but nevertheless, it's beautiful because we have another day to get it right. And we've been blessed with another opportunity to come over these precious airwaves and to hopefully uplift you, hopefully redirect some of you that's been misdirected, and to really say what is unpopular. I've heard words such as controversial, but I like to say just the truth. Because when I hear Minister Mike say controversial, I'm like, no, man, you just telling the truth. Well, Jesus was controversial, so. And all the prophets, everybody, Dr. King, Minister Farrakhan, Malcolm X, Fred Hampton,
That's right.
Harriet Tubman
That's
was
right.
controversial. But anyway, it's a great honor and privilege, Minister Mike, to be back on this show
That's right.
with you, sir. How you
That's
feeling
right.
today, man?
Oh, I'm doing great by the grace of God, and blessed to be alive another day and continue the work that we've been born to pursue. So we are very grateful and always thankful to the Creator for another day. I started my day out attending the last services for the father of a friend of mine, and so we always get a chance, if we forget, we get sober reminders that we're finite beings, and we have to make our time on this planet count.
Yeah,
So-
and that's why it's so critical that we don't walk around and function with fear as though we're going to be here forever. And so while we're here, we should be trying to make a difference for definitely a people who has been suffering. And we don't owe anybody any apologies. We don't have to continue to keep going along to get along. And I say this always. I respect every human being on the planet. But you would, look at me funny if I neglected myself, my family, my block, my
That's right.
community that's hurting like it is. So no matter what your profession is and whatever industry, it's time for us to make sure that we are on the same page to try to make a difference.
Yes.
And that's why we need the New Black Leadership Coalition that is made up of various organizations and
Right.
various minds and various different perspectives of how we can unify and make a difference out here where our people have been hustled for so many years
Right.
by others who really were using the misery and using some of the issues or challenges that poor people have, black people have, and exploiting them just to make money off of them. So anyway, I'm proud of Jesse Williams. We talked about it last night.
Yes.
I just wanted to say it over these airways. Jesse Williams. Brother, I'm changing your name to Jesse Ali Williams. Jesse Ali Williams. That's your new name. Tell him he have a new name. Jesse Ali Williams. Because what you said last night, brother, over the BET Awards, as you received the humanitarian award, you gave people real hope. Not the keep hope alive stuff. No, brother, speak truth to power hope.
That's right.
That's the only hope. That's what Jesus did. That's what Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon all of them. They spoke truth to wake up the people.
That's right.
And if those entertainers and the people, the audience, if we did not wake up some, or some people maybe fully woke up. I looked at Jamie Foxx and his face, and they were looking like, wow. They did the same thing with Kendrick Lamar, did his thing. I don't know if they reacted when when Jada did her thing regarding the Oscars, but that brother said some things last night or night before last Sunday that, I mean, it trended on Facebook, on YouTube, on other the tweets that I read. So let's just say this. Was it just a moment or is it a movement? Is justice for else, was it a moment or was it a movement? So when a man speak at that capacity, you know, at that level with that type of spirit, man, you know, that he put his career at risk. But why should you worry about a career? You know, and that's the stuff that's disturbing to me, is about some career. No, man, tell the truth. God got your back.
Right.
God got your back. And that's why, Minister Mike, you said some things that connected to what the brother was saying last night that was quite profound in terms of he repeated what he have heard from other strong leaders to say that it was time to challenge a system that's hypocritical.
Right. That's right. Well, I mean, this is why we talk about new black leadership, is because we live at a time when so many mainstream ideals have been tried. There's a status quo that exists for blacks and for whites and everybody in between. And we are living and witnesses, victims to, if you will, the fruit of the status quo.
Right.
And so we need a new paradigm in terms of leadership, a new type of leadership, a new style of leadership. We need a new vision cast, particularly for black people, but really for all of society. But our focus is our people first. So black people need a new model of leadership. I mean, we have made great gains, but we never make the kind of gains that fully liberate us, that fully empower us, that fully free us. And no matter what track we go down, whether it's the feminist track, our black women moved into the feminist movement, the suffrage movement, but racism was the status quo even in the suffrage and feminist movement. Now black people, many of our people have moved into the LGBTQ movement. And so now racism is creeping up, even in that movement. So sometimes we are trying to run from this ideal of black unity, and we engage in these other movements. We are vested in the Democratic Party, but the Democratic Party over and over and over again manifests this ideal of white supremacy. So no matter where we turn, we're met with this status quo of white supremacy. So we have a crop of leaders, however, that are apologists for white supremacy and really believe that there is a way to coalesce with white supremacists if they simply call themselves Democrat or liberal. And so what we're suggesting, and I see we have a call, what we're suggesting is that we need a completely new paradigm of leadership. And I think Jesse Williams echoed the spirit and the nature of the type of leadership that we need in today's day and time.
Great. Hello, caller. How you doing?
Good evening, gentlemen. I have to wonder, is it not because people scared they being denied certain resources? I think it's much more like a class problem. And then you got poor white folks getting caught into it. And I keep saying over and over again, you have people that's making a profit off of other people's misery. And I think I said this once before. If you want to see, especially in this state, who control a lot of the resources, go to some of these cemeteries, look at some of these sections. I'm talking about Arm and Hammer, Swiss, and they own, they control a lot of things that go on in the state. And then if you look at, like in the city of Chicago, any type of big construction go on, who do you see? Walls Construction. And we got these big people a lot of times that control, a small group of people that control a big part of the resource. I think a lot of times, I think it's much more classism that in terms of what's happening. Certain group got this power, they're not going to give it up.
Okay. Well, thank you for your call. I mean, you could respond to that, but I do want to say that, brother, classism, you know, is one thing. Our people are suffering, and so when you see certain classes of people, so-called classes, which is really an illusion. Some folks got a little more money, not real power. I mean, you know, you really think Steve and those folks got power because you see them on television and some live over here and live over there? Not really. They have a little more influence and they might get more people at their party because they're more popular. But as far as wisdom, as far as a movement, as far as changing the lives of people, no, they really don't. But I do believe that there has been a group of people that we have spoke about that tend to be at that table. Mm-hmm. They actually are at those tables. So when contracts or when resources or even just crumbs are given, the crumb snatchers typically are very typical individuals.
Yes. Well, I mean, classism is a reality, but if you study history and understand the nature of the system that has been pervasive for the last several thousands of years, that has perfected itself in America and in the current affairs of Europe, at the root of this world system is that supreme ideal of white male supremacy. White male supremacy. And so classism is a subset of this dominant ideology, or this dominant sense of entitlement, white male entitlement. And so when it comes to our community, classism is just one of those tools in the toolkit of white supremacy that allows whites of power to give me a position of favor, or give me a greater status, or give me more wealth than the common black person, and position me as a gatekeeper, or position me as that person you have to come through to gain access to those who have the real power. So I think Minister Farrakhan has called them repeatedly mannequins in the window. Some of us are mannequins in the window to entice you to believe that you can have what's actually in the store, even though you don't have the means. So classism is an issue, but if we take our eye off of the dominant ideal, then we will be fighting the ism and not the root cause of what's really going on and bringing America to its knees.
Excellent. Got another caller. How you doing this evening? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, hello?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. What I can understand what the other caller was trying to say, because one thing about it, the black people in America don't control anything. Okay, we don't. The only thing we can control is our life. Okay, other than that, we have no ComEd. We pay a bill for that. We don't control no light company. We don't control the telephone company. We don't. Most of us don't own our building. We paying a mortgage, and that's to another Caucasian person. And so I can understand what he was saying about classism, but I think he meant by control. We have no control over our destiny. Until we stop trying to let white people tell us what to do, and I'm not a racist, and I don't mean to say white, because it's more than white people that's dominating us. Okay, number two, we are our worst enemies. Look at our neighborhoods. No white or black person came over there and threw all that garbage down, let our property go down and everything. We don't take care of our community, and we don't pick up paper. We don't want to do anything, and then when somebody out there doing it, we complain. Black people do not get involved in their community. That's why the community look like that. And that's another thing. When we move in an area
A lot of the other races are moved out. Okay, number one, that's part of the problems. Ghettos are not built. People make ghettos. Number two, we don't get the police protection that we should. Number three, the aldermen don't do what they're supposed to do in black communities. We do not get city services that other people get. Okay, so it's a whole lot that make these ghettos, and that's all I got to say.
Thank you. Well, I will tell you this, that thank you for your call, that there are some things that it makes no difference what the dominant culture or society has to say. If you want to change your diet and you know that certain things is not good for you to eat, that's your control. That's our control. If you know that you should speak to your neighbor and treat people like you want to be treated, no one has to control that part. The basic principles of life, they've been here for us. We've tried that. We've been successful. We've shied away from that. Let's take this other caller. How you doing, caller? Hello.
I'm going to be real quick. You guys brought up about white superiority. Are you guys familiar with the William Lynch letters? How it's perpetuate itself?
Yes.
When I talk to people about the N-word, and I say this, you call each other that, and I said, white superiority people, they love that sort of thing, because why? You hurting yourself. And how can you sit back and justify it or try to rationalize it when that word had been used to suppress you? And somehow you want to change it around, or somehow if a word it been bad, how are you going to turn something into good? It depends on when you use it, how you use it. It could be good or bad. Just don't use the word. And then the same thing how women a lot of times in the black community now, how they call each other the B word. And that does it at one time when another woman called them that, there was one or two responses. One, my mother didn't name me no B. And second of all, that woman felt as though she had the right to expose all your vital organs of daylight. So what was abnormal is normal now. And it doesn't make any sense.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, I mean, we have to dissect our own statements. We have to be critical of our own logic. And so I don't know if we realize that word, what we call the N-word or nigger, that we use frequently and fervently in our community, is the vestiges of a programming. It is a social programming that runs deep in America, directed toward black people, that we have adopted. And this theme of new black leadership, I want you to think about something. The most effective leaders in America, in my estimation, in terms of self-empowerment, both of these men use the word black. They never referred to us as Negro. They never referred to us as colored people. They never said Africa for the Africans. He referred to all of us as black people. Language, words have meaning, words have power. And so we have always wrestled with who and what we are. But the leader, to look at solutions, we've got to look at those leaders who provided effective solutions. We are, and they spoke a language that empowered us in a way that no other leader before them or since them has been able to empower us. So the language we use and what we call ourselves is very critical.
Another caller. How you doing, caller?
Good. Brother Sang, Ron Whitmore.
Brother Ron Whitmore, great honorable principal. What's going on, my brother?
And I was compelled to call you and tell you God moves often in mysterious ways. And when I saw you on the channel, I could not call you, brother, in honor. And I'm with you and always with you 150%.
Thank you, brother. Love you, brother Ron.
All right,
yeah,
brother.
love you, brother.
If I can help, let me know.
Oh, yes, sir. And you know, going quickly, we got 5 minutes, folks. We need another hour because I really wanted to talk about a statement, just real quick, when Jesse Williams mentioned this is for the real organizers, the real community activists. And then he said, and the civil rights attorneys. He made sure that certain people didn't get credit for those words, and I studied them, and he sent that message out to them. Because those who have been hustling the people, claiming to be activists, claiming to be organizers, he sent a message to those who have been profiting. And I mean, we'll get this call real quick, and then we end the show. We only have a few minutes, a few seconds almost. Caller, how you feel?
I feel good, and I'm glad you guys are talking about this. He's talked about a social programming issue just a minute ago, about how we've been told, given this concept of how we should view ourselves. And I got to tell you this right now. The social programming that's been running rampant in this country is not limited to race. It also comes down to us through religion. It comes down through finances. It comes down to us through this hyper segregation that we have in this city still today.
That's right.
I mean, the point is, this traditional approach, this always doing what our parents taught us what to do, how to do, is what got us in this problem right now. The only thing we have to do, it says right there, new black leadership. It should be new leadership. We have to stop thinking. We have to stop excluding ourselves from the rest of the world, saying that we're just this one little part, and get bigger. We have to become the world. The paradigm has to change. The system is broken. We have to take it down. Thank you, gentlemen. Good night.
Well, Colin, let me say I was with you up until your last point. Marcus Garvey and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us to use the word black because black is not local, black is not small, black is universal. And so we can take that on the deepest level. Black is universal. And so wherever we go on this planet, black people are the original inhabitants and the mothers and fathers of civilization, and have shared the fruits of civilization with every other hue of man and every other kind of man. And so we must take our rightful place under the sun, and we must accept that which was bestowed on us by the creation in our melanin, in the blackness of our skin, which makes us uniquely qualified and capable to care for, to express, teach, and show love to the rest of God's creation. That is when you say blackness, when we say blackness, that is what we mean by blackness. It is by no means a limiting statement. It is a liberating statement.
Thank you, Minister Michael, for that, and thank you all for listening. We got a couple of minutes left. It's been a great run on here. We'll be back, I think, sometime in
probably September.
But it's been really a blessing, man, and a wonderful opportunity. But you can hear us on Monday night at 10 p.m. on intellectualradio.com. That's Monday night, 10 p.m. The New Black Leadership is on intellectualradio.com. And this is our overhead right here, the New Black Leadership, right there on Facebook. And anyway, we got to go. Peace and love. We will talk to you all soon.